afternoon. I'm Joseph Rice. I'm the county coordinator for Oath Keepers, and thank you for coming out. Thank you for helping. We had no idea what we gotten ourselves into, as you see where we are today. This started over a month ago. This happened when Rick and George and Danny and Kirby came to our Oath Keeper meeting and explained their situation with BLM and what was happening and what was occurring. Our chapter decided through a vote to support them in what was occurring here. And I, at the time, had no idea the logistical operation this would become. So you coming in here and supporting the miners in their fight against BLM for their constitutional due process, BLM's unlawfulness, is deeply appreciated. It's been a complex operation. This is our staging area. So as you come in here, you see we've got check-in procedures and protocol procedures. We have security teams on site. We have medical teams on site. We have full-time kitchen staff, freezers, communications that run 24/7, everything. We have a quick reaction force here, and we have a similar setup, almost duplication of this, actually on the Sugar Pine mine. So we run shuttles back and forth between this staging area and up there. Anybody comes in here, we'll process in here, we vet them, check their background, doing a skill assessment, and then give them an assignment of what they're willing to do, also based on how long they can stay. We had a truck driver a week and a half ago that it literally parked on the highway, ran across, worked here all day long, then went back, got his big rig, and drove north. So we've had that type of activity go on. We've had people transiting the I-5 corridor that just stopped in, said, I can't help, what can I do? And they've dropped in $200 or $300 just to help support the operation. It's been amazing. We've had, I had a letter that was sent to me, sent to the chapter what we're doing here, and as I was reading it, it said, God bless you and what you're doing, standing up and protecting their rights, and this is all I can afford, and it was $5. So the help has come across the nation. We have had people drive from Massachusetts, South Carolina, where else? We've got them in here from Vermont, Alabama, Michigan, Missouri, Arizona, Texas, Colorado, Washington, California, Utah, Montana, Idaho. Right now, our site security, it's a team out of Idaho. We have people that are working remotely with the Patriot Railroad, with Operation Gold Rush, with media, with all types of things. And it's been an incredible experience. We could not be doing what we're doing without the support of the community here and actually the nation. It's good to see Americans being Americans. It's good to see Americans standing up for what is right, for due process, for constitutional rights, that those aren't abused or trampled. And it's taken many of the people that have come to support this, have left their lives, their families. We've had people quit their jobs to come down here. We have had a tremendous interruption of things because they believe in the support of the Constitution. Our teams up on the mine are highly skilled, very disciplined, very professional. They have recency of experience in Iraq, Afghanistan, Bosnia, Kosovo, all those hot spots around the world. And then they come back into our country, and they continue to serve and they continue to protect, because we took that oath that never expires. And it's important to remember that. This is what we see, what's important, and how we take our nation back, how we stand up for what's right and, fight what's wrong. What's interesting to me is we have looked at our county government, and we talk about leadership and we talk about voting. It's very important to know what you're voting for and what they stand for. We've had Commissioner Heck, Commissioner Hare have stood in support of the miners. Carl Wilson has stood in support of the miners. County Legal Counsel Wally Hicks has stood in support of the miners. Sheriff Dave Daniel has been completely and totally absent. And I'm to the point, after a dozen invitations for him to come out here to be involved, to see what's going on, to be educated on what is happening, and not to show. He was in Merlin last week and participated in a parade, but he couldn't be bothered to come over here and talk to the miners. When we talk about a constitutional sheriff, that means he has the authority to stand up and tell BLM cease and desist until these miners get their day in court. He has refused to do that. We have a deputy that made a statement, I have issues with the Constitution. Sheriff Daniel asked me what I was wanting to do, and I said, the gentleman needs to be terminated. If he took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States, and he says he has issues with it, he cannot enforce law. If he has issues with constitutional law, he does not belong wearing a sheriff's badge. That's his conscious choice. He needs to move on. We get in this trap of what is right, what is wrong, or the least path of resistance. And for all those that have served overseas, they've spilt their blood, they've gotten broken, they're trying to heal and lick their wounds. When you come back here and you see someone that's unwilling to make the same type of sacrifice for protection of rights, that's insulting. That's abusive. You don't belong in the position. So move on. But at this point, he has not started an internal affairs investigation. He has not done anything because, quote unquote, the union won't let me. So, how do we make a change? What do we do differently? Everybody close to 100 people in here. There's 100 letters to the newspaper. There's 100 letters to your congressional representatives. This action and where we are today happened pretty much a year ago down in Nevada at the Bundy Ranch. Here we are a year later in Grants Pass on the Sugar Pine Mine. Who knows where we're going to be next year? We cannot continue to have an agency that doesn't care, doesn't believe in constitutional process, constitutional law to continue. What we must do to enact change is we have to force this to a congressional investigation. We have to enforce this to a congressional inquiry. The number of people that have come to us over the last month and told us their stories, horror stories, of their dealings with BLM is astounding. What's most impressed me is they're all from Josephine County except for one. I'm just stunned at the amount of people that have been abused by BLM, and it seems to be an ongoing pattern. I've been chased off a mining claim. They keep driving across my hay field without a right-of-way or an easement. They tell me if I don't like it to go ahead and sue them. That's 4 people. There's Don Robinson and the 3 LEOs that he supervises seem to be the perpetrators in this all the time. That's the problem. We need to start identifying the individuals that feel they can act lawlessly and willfully violating rights of individuals. That's wrong. That's not what we as Americans should be putting up with. People work hard. We work within the lines. We obey the law. We pay our taxes. We don't need to be abused by an agency that thinks they can do whatever they want to do. And this is when we have accountability of our government. This is how it's done. This is how we draw attention to it. But the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Take the time. When you go home tonight, take the time, 10 minutes, write a letter, fire it off to Congressman DeFazio, fire it off to Congressman Walden, fire it off to Senator Wyden and Merkley. Let them know your concerns. We have a gentleman from Douglas County that came in here yesterday, spent a couple hours. He was up in Alaska, came back, BLM had clear-cut his claim. Then when he came back again, there's a road through the middle of his claim. He never gave permission, was never notified of it. Just happened the road went to the property above his, which was owned by the BLM district manager. We have them destroying records. We have them saying they've never burned cabins. We know they burned cabins here. They're putting out a false narrative. And until we stand up and hold them accountable and hold the media accountable, if the media is not given an accurate story, call in and say, I know what you just reported is untrue. Cancel your subscriptions, vote with your pocketbook. Stop watching that channel. It's important to get accurate information out there. And that's what we've held very true to make sure everything we're putting out is accurate, is professional, is not inflammatory, it's accountability. Just showing them that this is the issue, this is what we're holding you accountable for. But we need help. We definitely need help. And, it looks like BLM is going to go into the long haul on this. So we're here for the duration. So it's a lot of logistics in keeping people fed, in keeping gas in vehicles, in keeping radio communications going 24/7. There's quite a bit going on. More importantly, George and Rick are in the legal battle with BLM. They need their financial support. Whatever you guys can do and help out, maybe not today, maybe in a couple of days or next week, please donate to their legal defense fund, because fighting the government's an expensive proposition, just as the government doesn't seem to care. The other thing we're going to do as a new tactic is we are tracking everything that's coming in here. Everything has been donated, every man hour spent up here securing the mine. When we're done, we are sending BLM a bill for services rendered.
All right.
There's got to be some way to get their attention. And the premise of the bill is their action was unconstitutional, should never have taken place, and therefore they're responsible for us putting them back in their lane of travel. So with that, talk to each other, share your stories, get to know Rick and George, understand what's going on here, get the facts, learn the facts, question us if you don't understand something, challenge us if you disagree with us, that's important too. And if you can, help them out with their legal defense fund. It's important to get this battle won, because honestly, I don't want to be doing this a year from now someplace else. Write those letters to your congresspeople demanding an investigation, demanding congressional testimony take place, so they understand what BLM's been doing and we get them back in their lane of travel. Thanks everybody, God bless everyone, and God bless America.